Good morning, Dana. How are you this morning? Good morning, flipping cool stuff or good stuff. Thanks for coming in. Yes, we are watching a closed Disney World. Thanks to News Center 6. They did a helicopter flyover last week, I believe. And yes, I did hear that Universal Studios is extending their closure also. Disney World, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Legoland have not reported anything yet if they were going to extend. Good morning, Flipping Flamingos. And yes, like I posted, Orange County tomorrow night is going on total lockdown for 2 weeks. And my county, which is right next door, Osceola County, and many others are probably going to follow suit with that. Only essential workers will be able to be on the roads. Yeah, Flipping Flamingos. We've been on lockdown since Monday. So I just wanted to share that with you. Something that people would never be able to see is a closed Disney World. Let me just get that off the screen. There we go. So I thought it was interesting. I saw it. You could see, if you were watching, you could see that the workers are still there because there's a lot of there is a lot of work and rehab that they're doing to Disney World, getting it ready for next year's 50th anniversary, I believe. And that's still continuing, which is good. So they'll hopefully they'll have it all done, because right now, like half of Hollywood Studios is closed. A lot of things and rides in Magic Kingdom are closed. So hopefully when they open back up, that there will be, let me just shut my audio here. Hopefully when they get back open, they'll have it all open again, which would be nice. Don't have to inconvenience anyone. Good morning, Mick. Good morning, Glenn. Glenn, I hope you saw the link. Come over to YouTube so you could chat with everybody on YouTube and see what everybody's chatting. Yeah, it is creepy to see a closed, Disney World or theme park, anything big that usually has thousands and thousands of people in it. It is pretty unusual. I did hear that too on the news this morning, Mick. Did hear that some of the royals have come down with it. It's got to get worse before it gets better, from what they say. Good morning, Donna. How are you this morning? I'm just trying to catch up. No, there was no audio. I guess all you heard on the video was the sound of the helicopter being from inside, and it's pretty loud. So they cut the audio off. So it was not your computer. 2 sales so far this morning. Very good. Nice to hear. Nice to hear. I've seen that not everybody, but a lot of people posted that their sales have increased starting Saturday. Everybody was having a flood of sales. So I guess the major freakout period was last Monday through Friday. People started to settle down and started ordering again online. I know that a lot of stuff selling, like video games and board games and movies and stuff like that. So yeah, that's good. That's really good. Just keep it going. Keep it going. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to post that because hardly anybody, unless you work there, hardly anybody's going to see what Disney World looks like closed. and closed for this long. Usually they close for the hurricane, and we're still cleaning up from the hurricane, and they're open. So they don't usually close for much. Good morning, Arthur. Yeah, Flippin' Flamingos put the store on 20% sale. Woke up to 6 sales. It's very cool. I woke up to a few more on Amazon, of course, all video games. But I'll take it. I will take anything I can get right now. For all of you that came to the auction with myself and Lisa the other night, I brought up a few items that I've never brought up before. I didn't know if they would sell, and they sold. I'll be getting the rest of everything out today. Yeah, I mean, it was really good. It was interesting. A lot of action figures. I put up a lot of action figures. A huge sale going on 40 to 50%. Wow. That is very cool. Ken Ward. How you doing, Ken? Ken, come over to YouTube. The link's in the chat. Adam. Good morning, Adam. Saw your auction for a little bit last night before I went to bed. Adam was on with Lisa and myself Monday night doing albums for $4 each and only one shipping price, which was very cool. I think he sold a lot. Very cool to see the old vinyl again. Nate is in the house. How are you, Nate? Even if you are in lockdown, you can still go shopping. Yeah, they saying that, it's kind of like the old adage: if you sell milk and bread, you can open and work, or if you work there, you can be on the roads too. Never been to Disney World. It's fun. I mean, you should go at least once just to see it, get it out of your system. Living this close to it, we get moused out. It's just enough's enough. Although Universal, I haven't been to Universal in probably 6 years now. And I do like Universal. It's just the yearly passes are expensive. If you get a full yearly pass for Disney World, I believe it's $1,800, $1,900, something like that. We usually just get the weekday pass. It's Monday. You can go in any park Monday except the water park and that type of stuff. You can go in Monday through Friday, and that's still $300 and something a year. But they just raised the price. It's over $100 a day to get in now. And they keep raising the price every year, sometimes twice a year. Good morning, Carol. Yeah, they were going through a list this morning on the news, telling people what's an essential business and what's not an essential business. Lawn care can be out. It doesn't deem as an essential business. I don't get it myself. Some of the things they were mentioning, a barber shop. I don't know. They were going through the list. If you deliver, post office can be open. If you deliver and stuff, you could do that. How can we make sure whatever groceries we get are uncontaminated? That's what they say. You can't. Because you don't know who handled them first. Good morning, Deb. Hey, Ken. On the Facebook side. Chat's going fast and furious, even on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, just watching, come over to YouTube. And that's right. It's midnight there. come over to the YouTube side. Thank you for stopping in and join in the chat. Bear with me for a second here. I gotta sneeze, but it's not coming. I think I'm caught up. No, Philly Picker stopped in. Hello, Philly Picker. Okay, looks like I'm caught up. Yeah, Adam says record stores are essential because music soothes the soul. Yeah, package stores, liquor stores, however you want to say it. So how is everyone doing today other than that? You sell food and drink, Adam, in your store? You're not just talking about chips and Coke, are you? But how's everybody doing? What's I see a couple of people in here reported great sales. I did sell a few things on. That's true, Mick. We did call them package stores. That's funny because I'm from the Boston area, and when I came down here, I transferred down as management with Walmart, and I asked. I didn't see it. Let me see if I can go back and see it. I would ask like the other managers, where's the rubbish? And they said, the what? The rubbish? What's rubbish? The trash? Oh, okay. So a little thing. And then down here, they call the carriages buggies. So yeah, everything's different than like that. Looking for a post, and I am not seeing it. Flipping good stuff. I'm not seeing it. Did you read my earlier post? Let me see if I could see it on YouTube. I wonder if it was this one. That's not. I copied and paste, but it won't let me copy and paste. It brings mine up. Put it in here again. Was it the one about, I guess, bring all groceries home, Clorox, wipe everything immediately, then wash hands thoroughly? Was that it? Only Paul and I might understand what my last post. Grinder, Sub, Hero, Hoagie, Tonic, Soda, Pop, Packy, package or liquor store. Yep. I just copied it and posted it. We Flipping Good Stuff. Love to get you all to follow my daughter on Instagram. Lucy, you've got mail. She is sending handwritten letters to people or drawing. She is 6 years old. Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you see that, everybody, That's a cool idea. Yeah, that's what they're saying too. Like most of all of my family is still back in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and they're saying that we should reach out to friends and family. Do a FaceTime, do Skype. Call each other, and because right now they're just looking at four walls at their house or whatever. So it's good to branch out, reach out to your family and talk to them and see how everybody is, connect with your friends and everything. Let them know that they're not alone. So yeah, that's a great idea. I wonder how the troops are in other countries. You don't hear anything about that at all. I just thought of that. I wonder how they're doing. Joanne Fabrics is looking for sewers to help make masks. Wow. They had on the news here last night that there's a fashion designer who's now making masks, fashion masks. I don't know if she's selling them or what, but she's making them out of this. She says, you're not going to get the protection you would as a real mask, but it's different. They did look different. Looking for teddy bears in the windows, a kid spot. Wow. Yeah, it's true, Adam. That's true, Adam. So you're doing homeschooling in the first lesson? I saw a post somebody put, and I put it on, I shared it on mine. Homeschooling, day one. One student was late, one got expelled, and one teacher was fired for drinking on the job. I thought that was funny. So how is everyone else doing? Anybody have plans for today? Does anybody do yeah, I just completely lost my thought because I'm looking at the chat on this screen, checking, make sure it's okay on that screen with the other eye. Sorry. Does anybody practice or do time blocking? Anybody use time blocking? Yes, do a video. I used to teach my agents or tell my agents all the time, just do the damn video. Don't make it complicated. Who cares what it looks like? Because the more you do, the better you'll get. And then you'll look back on the first ones and laugh and say, oh, that was bad then or whatever. But you'll get better with time. Don't know what that is, very little. Time blocking is planning the day, or to start, you could follow your day. You can bring it down to minute by minute and see where you're spending a lot of time. And then you can look at that and say, well, I'm wasting all that time doing that, and I should have been doing this. What a lot of people do, and I can relate this back to my real estate, a lot of people have their phone next to the bed, and they wake up, and the first thing they do is start checking their email or text messages, and they start surfing the web and whatever in bed. I don't keep my phone anywhere near the bedroom at all, unless we go away and I just use it as an alarm. But what they say to do is you get up, you shower, you get ready. Some people meditate for 10 minutes. Whatever you have to do, that's your personal time. And whatever it is, if you wake up at 4, if you wake up at 5 or 6 or 7, that's the start of your day. don't look at your email. Don't look at the phone right away, because chances are, and I've done this so many times, chances are right, exactly, Mick. Chances are you're going to stay on it for hours, because you might get an interesting email. Like, I get a lot of crap, but then I get a lot of interesting stuff too. And I look at the internet as, well, I'm going to start in Boston, but within an hour, 2 hours, I may end up in Japan, because, oh, what about this? And what about that? Because there's this link in here. So you press this and it goes there. And then that one has a link and it goes there. It's never ending, and it'll suck the time and productivity right away. So I try to do this. I try in my head, and they say what you should do is write it down. I'm going to try to make a little chart and put it in the I'll do another one on this also. Okay, Mick, take care. It's midnight where he is. I'm going to try to get a chart. I'll make a chart, and I'll put it in the chat of the next video, the next upload. But what I do now, this is my typical morning, is I'll get up, shower, clean, and I take the dog for a walk. And then I come in, I'll make if I have enough time, I'll make the image for the show. And then I'll make a tea, because I have been off coffee now for a couple of weeks. I'll make a tea and get ready to do the show. We're on for typically an hour. I get off. I'll go on to say good morning to a couple of people, like Anthony and Nate on Ecom and Beyond at 10. And then I'll get off, and typically Sandy's home. So then I'll feed the dog and make breakfast for her and myself. We'll mellow out, we'll talk a little, and then I'll get to work. But then I know that, hey, okay, now at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I just want to stop and go make lunch and just focus on something else for a little while I eat lunch. And then I'll come back and do some more work. And that's basically what time blocking is. You don't want anybody to bother you. When I was in the office, I would have just a little thing in a little paper, well, an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and all it says is time blocking, do not disturb. And I would just tape it on my door and shut the door. They know I'm there, but and then I would come out, and talk and communicate with everybody. But there's sometimes I just needed to focus on what I was doing. I have to call banks or whatever and get that done with no interruptions, because you get interrupted, it never gets done. So, and now there's a lot of interruptions. You get that little thing going across the screen, breaking news, and you're off. Paul, will the real estate market crash or rise after this is over, since interest is so low? Interest went back up to 5%. Yep. So the market's going to be the market. I don't think we're going to see what happened in 06, 07 again, ever, I hope. I mean, granted, I helped over 1,000 people, saved 1,000 families from foreclosure, because that's what I specialized in. But I don't think we're going to see that happen again unless things go really nuts. I mean, one example, I did short sales. I helped people with short sales. And when you go in and start talking to somebody and they're a hairdresser, and they told the bank that they made $100,000 a year just to get the loan, the mortgage, my response was, well, do you really want me to say to the bank that you lied, and for fear that you could go to jail for mortgage fraud? Or do you just want to take your chances and see what happens? And they, what do you mean mortgage fraud? Well, you lied to the bank. You said you were making $100,000 a year, and you were making what, 28? That's mortgage fraud. So the same thing. I mean, I could tell you a dozen stories. Pull up to the door, knock on the door, say, "Hey, I'm Paul. You wanted me to come and help you." Yes, yes. First question: whose Beamer is that in the driveway? Oh, that's mine. What? It's brand new, right? Well, yeah. And my question was to them: you want me to tell the bank you can't pay your mortgage, but you just bought a new BMW? Well, yeah. Why? What does that have to do with it? I'm not the person for you. Thank you very much for calling me. When I leave, there'll be 10 other agents that'll come to your door to try to help you. Good luck. That's the way I took it, because there is no way that would fly. I had to help people that really needed help. Good morning, Anthony. How are you? But yeah, the market's going to be what the market is. Right now, the interest rate, from what I understand, is 5%. In my estimation, anything under 6 is a deal. I bought my first building in 85 and I paid 18%. Anything under 6% is still a deal. I mean, my father bought our house in Somerville, Mass in 63, I believe, and the mortgage was 3%. Yeah, you're at 3.5%. That's fantastic. But if you're looking to buy more real estate, and I'm sorry if the chat here goes over to the real estate talk. In the last 16 years, I've been doing them as a real estate broker. What many people do when things happen in life is they'll use their house equity as a piggy bank. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's one way to get in trouble. That is definitely, you don't want to refinance, pay off all your credit cards, pay off your cars just to get that stuff paid off. You don't want to do that, because if anything happens, the bank will say, well, no, you use that money to pay off a car. We need that money back. We use that money to pay off your credit card. We need that money back. I'm telling you, the banks are heartless, cold, heartless. But put yourself in their shoes. You borrowed 100. You only want to pay them back 20. Why? That's what it comes down to. It's numbers. Why? Why should we let you get away with 80? I need a good reason. I mean, my God, I've done, I think, 1,200 families. I've helped 1,200 families go through this. I was the top in my game in this county. I made it in the top 10 list of Coldwell Banker at one time for production like that. And it's just, that's when real estate became rewarding for me. People always ask me, what's rewarding about real estate? Well, helping families get out of a bad situation and stuff. Yeah. Getting somebody their first home, that's great. But, it's just ridiculous. I have a 3.8% mortgage rate when I bought my house. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. But I need to move. So where are you, Dana? Where are you now? Because we moved here to Florida 16 years ago. I bought a house, and I bought the house next door for my son. And he lasted almost a year, and he went back home to Massachusetts because he didn't like it. He missed his friends and everything. He didn't like it. So he left, but I had to wait another month for the year so we didn't have to pay capital gains before we sold the house. When we first moved down here, I wasn't in real estate until a year after. But now all our family's still back home. So we're leaving here is hopefully soon. And we're going back home. You're in Florida. And you're going to stay in Florida? Or are you moving out of the state? Like so many do. Many people come from New England down to Florida because they hate the snow and whatever, which is what I did. They hate the snow and everything, but then they see what it's really like here in Florida, and they end up going halfway back or all the way back. And that's why they're called halfbacks. But yeah, it's for us, it's family. We need to be close to family. All my friends are still in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. You want to go back to New Jersey, probably for the same reason that I'm talking about right now, right? Family. Yep. What city in Florida are you in? I just put my vacation home. I'm in St. Cloud. I have a vacation rental in Kissimmee that we do Airbnb on. And because of what's happening, since January till July, I only had 2 weeks open. Now it's all open. Everybody canceled because of what's happening, because 80% of the guests came from Europe and they can't come in here now. So I put it up for sale last week and I just took it off because you can't do open houses now and you can't, things are crazy. Palm Beach. Okay. If you need an agent or something in the area, to help you, let me know. I could see who's on. I'm still on all the real estate boards. 90% of my Facebook friends are realtors. When I was heavy and strong doing the real estate, I couldn't take any more friends. I had peaked out on my friends on Facebook. So I started last year, I believe, I started to delete tons. I think I deleted 3,000 friends, Facebook friends. But yeah, if you need help, just if you're looking at values, and I can tell this to everybody, if you're looking at what your home is worth, don't look at Zillow. Zillow is still far out. Still far out. Hey, and hope I'm not boring anybody talking about real estate. I'm glad everybody came in here. Thank you very much for spending your morning with us. I hope I'm not boring everybody just talking about this real estate stuff. But I'm sure everybody lives in a house, and there's a lot of people out there wondering what's going to happen. What are they going to do if you can't pay your mortgage? I said this the other day. If you know you're going to have a problem paying your mortgage, paying your bills, you get your mortgage statement next to you, call that number. And I'm hearing wait times of 2 hours. And some of them are saying, email into us and we'll get back to you, because they're getting bombarded with calls. Call the number and say, listen, I want to talk to somebody about a forbearance. So a forbearance is they're going to take that next payment, which will be April, and they'll put it at the back end of the loan. And don't just say, okay, thank you very much. You want proof. You need proof. If they won't give it to you in writing, you have to ask for it. I need that in writing, that you agreed that whatever it is, Bank of America or whatever, they're going to allow a forbearance with no extra penalties, no interest. It's not going to be reported on my credit that, I'm doing a forbearance. Hold on, flipping frozen. You want to get it in writing. If they say, well, it's on your sheet here, I can't give it to you in writing. Okay, what's your first and last name? What's your employee number or agent number? This is 9:32 a.m. on 3/25, and I'm speaking with so-and-so. We spoke about a forbearance, and this is what it is. And keep that paper somewhere. If you have to scan it in and put it on your desktop, do that because you need proof. How about renters? Well, I'm not sure about renters. I do know that you should call your property management company if you have property management, or the owner, and say, what can we do? Because you're not going to be the only one if you're in an apartment building, and the owner can call the bank and ask for a forbearance. And if he says, well, my tenants can't pay their rent, so I can't pay the mortgage, what can I do? If he says, hi, Paul, Gate City Picker, how are you? If he says, well, you still have to pay the rent, he's trying to double dip, which is illegal. You can't say to the bank, well, nobody's paying their rent, so I need a forbearance. And he's, begging everybody to pay their rent. It's just a call. You can't pay your credit cards. You can't pay your car payment. Don't wait for the last minute. Call right away. As soon as you know you're going to have a problem. Look at these waiters and waitresses that are out now. I'm sure it's a lot of places, but here at restaurants that are still open are takeout only. They don't need the wait staff anymore because you can't sit in a restaurant anymore. It's only takeout. So, and they work for tips, And then when they go lockdown, there's not going to be any Uber or what's the other one? Lyft. And there's one other one. We have in Orlando, there is these motorbikes you could rent per hour. They're all gone. They took them. The company took them all because they don't, you can't have them now. They'll come back, but you can't have them now. Dana's going to try FSBO. What you could do is go to, and I know I'm going to contradict myself, but people go on to Zillow by owner. Zillow has a space that owners can put their houses up for sale. Now, once you're seen as being a FSBO, agents are going to come out of the woodwork. Oh, I can get you this. I can get you that. I can get you this much money. I can get you that much money. That's just the way the industry is. But you can do buyowner.com, which is funny because the guy that owns forsalebuyowner.com, he used a real estate agent to sell his house. So what does that tell you? You got to think of FSBO as the only people that are going to see your house for sale are the ones that drive by it. If you do your own open house, you got to be very careful. Don't have any small things like remote controls. Put them all up up on a shelf. Don't leave anything, keys, jewelry, whatever. Lock everything up. Because you don't know who, especially when you're a FSBO, you don't know who's going to come into your house. You can pull into the parking lot. They will come out, take your order. Oh, wow. That's interesting. So when you work with a real estate agent, you could tell them, I don't want anybody coming to my house that's not already approved for a mortgage. When you do FSBO, you don't know. Some people can't afford a Snickers bar, and you're going to let them into your house roaming around. Got to be extremely careful. Extremely careful. Well, play this back to your husband so he could see it too. But yeah, I mean, when I was strong doing it in the earlier days, I listed houses for sale on eBay. It was $150 for a basic listing. An eBay for sale, home for sale. I don't know if they still allow homes on there anymore. It's not a final sale, but it was just a way to get more eyes in the country, more eyes on the property. And I did end up selling a couple that way. So it was just marketing, basically. Being in Florida, when I heard a snowstorm hit Chicago or New York or Boston, I would have my assistant post listings on Craigslist in those areas. Like, hey, we can drive our car with the roof down all year long. How's the snow doing? Are you sick of shoveling snow? Blah, 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 things like that. When this is all, do you think there will be a glut of bank-owned property, or will banks be more forgiving? Banks are already coming forward saying they'll be doing forbearance for people. Yeah, I think this is worse than 07, 06, 07, because that was the bank's fault. That was the bank's fault, and it only affected people that have mortgages. Granted, I know agents that bought 5, 6, 7 properties, lost them all. But the bank, all they did was hold a mirror under your nose to make sure you were breathing and you qualified for the loan. Because they figured that they were backed by the securities. So, hey, if the people defaulted, they're going to have all this property worth all this money. You could have bought a condo here next to Disney for $30,000 during the crash. And people did. I mean, we were, I had I had properties listed on MLS for a day, and they were already under contract. So that's what happened back then. Is the banks you needed a pulse. You needed to be able to walk in on your own. And okay, how much do you want? 200. Okay, yep, here you go. Now, so it affected them. I'm sorry, it affected those people that bought the properties. Now it affects everybody: renters, people that bought the property, people that own the property, everybody. Stores are closed, restaurants are closed, the economy is down, the stock market is tanking. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of foreclosure. They've already they've held off foreclosures and evictions for 90 days. So, but those were the ones that are already in the works. Those are the people that already you missed 3 payments, you're in foreclosure. Simple as that. So those are the ones that already had the problem. Now it's starting for everyone. The people that could pay their mortgage, that all of a sudden now I'm not allowed to work, or I'm sick and I can't work. They want me to stay home for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks, because I'll infect everybody else. So the banks came forward and says, if you're having a problem, we will do a forbearance. I think almost every bank has said that they'll do a forbearance. And the forbearance is you have to request it. It's not going to be automatic. They'll take your next payment or 2 payments, and they'll put them at the end of the loan. Don't do anything without getting it in writing, or you got to make real good notes, but don't let them say, well, we'll forgive your April payment and you can pay us in May. Don't do that, because that means in May they're going to expect 2 payments. You don't want that. You don't want that, because that'll cause more problems down the line. Bad enough you can't come up with whatever it is for your mortgage this month. Now they want you to come up with twice the next month. No good. No, not good at all. So ask them to do a forbearance. I want to take April's payment and put it on the end of my loan. I don't want to be charged penalties or interest, like you had said you would do for everyone. Just do a search, banks forbearance, virus banks doing forbearance. You'll see there's a lot of banks that are doing ads. Should I do it if I don't really need to? I don't know. Does it get tacked on the end? Yes, that's what you want, and you have to make sure that that's what it is, what they're doing. I don't know what they're going to ask for proof. I don't. So, I mean, you do what you want, but it's the bank, and you don't want to lie to a bank. You do know that any mortgage company that hold your mortgage, they check your credit every 6 months automatically, whether you know it or not. A lot of people don't know it. And then when you go to close on a property, they check it the day before you close, sometimes an hour before you close. I've been at the table with someone that made one credit card payment 1 day late. So she was on the late fee, the late chart. They denied the mortgage. She couldn't apply for a mortgage for a year. So, you know, they check. They check. All right, be good. Give me a call. I only have property taxes to deal with. Yes. Yep. And that's good. Now they did, what is it? Our income tax now is July, I think. For personal, corporate, I had to pay my corporate already. But like I said before, I hope I'm not boring anybody with this real estate talk and stuff. I'm sorry. I'm that's one of the businesses that I went into when I got down here. I left Walmart after 5 years and went back into my own business. But please, thank you for coming. I hope everybody subscribes to the channel. No, it's not your fault, Dana. I love giving information. I mean, I was a teacher too for real estate and a trainer, they call it, for real estate. I've trained agents all the way in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and down here. And plus my own 13, 14 agents. Hit the like button if you could. If you're still on Facebook, like I see many of you are in Facebook, come over to the YouTube side and chat along with us. Jason, good morning. I don't know if I said good morning to you, Jason. I'm going to put my YouTube in here. It's a crazy time we're in right now. It is a crazy time. And things change. We just have to learn how to adapt and change with it. When you're an online reseller, leave the blue thumb. All this that is valuable to all of us. I would hope so. Dee, thank you very much, and thanks for coming in. I would think so. I love sharing knowledge. When I got into real estate, like I said, 16 years ago, over 16 years ago, and I knew nothing about real estate. I have bought homes, one home and a commercial building, and sold them. So that's my, forte into real estate. So I took every single class I could. I got certified. I had so many letters after my name. The public doesn't know what all those letters mean or whatever, but I'm kind of like a sponge. I love training. I love learning. I love going into the classes and asking questions and stuff to make sure I know what I need to know. And I'm one of those people that I need to know everything about what I'm doing. When I first got into eBay, when it just became eBay, because it was Auction Watch and I was listing on that, and there was a couple other small auction pages and stuff. When I first got into eBay and I started really rocking, I was doing 1,000 a week on eBay, and I ended up closing my store because what do I need the store for? Everybody's buying online. I got so hot into it that I became what eBay calls at that time was a trading assistant. I would teach people how to do eBay at the library, at local events and stuff like that. And then I would start selling things for other people. And then stores opened up. They were called eBay drop-offs, where you would go into this small store, small front, large back, where nobody could see. And yes, I will, Arthur. I actually just took it off the market because we're not allowed to do open houses and stuff. Now I'm going to put it back on. But I'll get you the information. You could go into a store, a drop off eBay and say, all right, I have this I want to sell. And they say, okay. And you sign a paper. You got to make sure, they have to make sure it's yours. It's almost like a pawn shop. And then they would list it on eBay for you. They would take all the pictures. They would do the description. They would take all the pictures. And then when it's sold, they would ship it, pack it, and everything. And they would take up to a 35% cut for doing all that. Like the 40-year, I don't know. Never seen that movie. So I was selling things for people. I was charging them 10, 20%, something like that. I didn't do a ton of it. I didn't like to because I had my own stuff to do. It would literally, back then, it would take me 8 hours to list 100 items. I don't know the movie, right? But I don't know. I never saw the movie. Oh, the girl has an eBay store. I'll have to watch the movie then. Okay. Yeah, so many things. So now that I've tapered off real estate, I mean, I could still sell a house, list a house if I had to, sell somebody some property, whatever. But it's just real estate here in Florida is like the wild, wild west. Agents do whatever they want to do. They don't care about the rules. They don't care about the law. And I'm done with that. I'm kind of, putting all my focus back into online selling. The other reason is because Sandy likes it too. And I'm sorry I'm talking so much. I see that in myself, but then I have no one else to talk to other than reading the chats. So yeah, I mean, Perlini, good morning. How are you this morning? I did. Actually, I've been to a couple of real estate events with, I call him Brookline because he's from Brookline, Massachusetts. So they're all friends of mine on Facebook. I've met 3 of them so far, but I forget what his name is. The real arrogant one with the wife. They just got married, and the little dog. I asked him. I said, because I watched every show. And I liked the first series of shows, series 1, where I forget what the guy's name was from Coldwell Banker. He would show properties in flip-flops, and he always had a Starbucks in his hand, shorts, and a shirt. Open shirt, no tie, no nothing. I hate wearing suits. Hate it with a passion, wearing suits. Never liked it. But I spoke to him. I said, listen, I was watching a couple episodes. And the one guy that threw you out, that you had a deal on his house or whatever, then he offered you back. You sold his house. But in the last season, he sold a house with somebody else, the same house. He says, yeah, man, most of that's all staged. He says, these days, it's all staged. So, yeah, what's a suit? Yeah, Adam, I know. I was depressed when I found out Hell's Kitchen was all staged. All those people in the dining room are extras. It's like there is no such thing as reality TV anymore. I don't think. I just got, because I've been in 2 movies now as an extra, and I just got a list yesterday that they're looking for extras and people to shoot new reality TV shows. Young couples between 18 and 28 looking to buy their first house. A mother and daughter doing something. I forget what it was, but they were looking for 4 scenarios. And yeah. No, Adam, I don't think so. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I hate that saying too. It is what it is. So we just need to take this time and focus. Chunks. Who is it? Russell Brunson, or I forget what his name is. They call it chunking time. From 8 to 9, I'm going to read my email. and then I'm going to get off. And then I'm going to go for a walk, even if it's around the house. My doctor tells me all the time, don't sit in front of the computer for a long time. Get up every once in a while, walk around, change the focus in your eyes and stuff like that. Then from, 10 to 11, I'm going to start making lunch or whatever. And from 12 to 2, I'm going to photo my inventory. And then from 2 to 4 or 2 to 3, because photos take a long time, I think, especially you have to measure. From 2 to 3, I'm going to list all those, and I'm not going to stop until I finish. But if I'm not done until 5, that's okay. But then I'm going to get up and away from the computer, and I'm going to make dinner. I'm going to talk to my spouse and my kids, and we're all going to go take the dog for a walk or whatever. And then you come back and say, okay, do I still want to work? And this is one thing I used to stress with my agents. When you're an entrepreneur, when you're an online seller, it's your own business. Your own business. You have to treat it like a business. When I was doing real estate, I treated eBay as a hobby because I liked it. I like finding something for $1 and selling it for $10. It was extra money. You put it towards this, put it towards that. Great. Good morning, Dolly. When you're an entrepreneur, you're 24/7. When you're an online seller, you could be 24/7. It's up to you to set your hours. People would call my agents 24/7, and I would tell them the same thing that I'm going to tell you right now. You are your own boss. When you're sick and you call the doctor, you can't say, hey, I'm not feeling well. Can you call a prescription in to CVS or Walgreens for me? No, you got to make an appointment, and you have to come in and see the doc. And shiny objects, I get distracted. You have to call a doctor, make an appointment, and then come in. So when you're an entrepreneur and you're your own business, it's the same thing. You're going to get an email, say, hey, can you call me or whatever? I can't. You're going to get a text message from a friend. Hey, let's do this. Let's do that. No, can we do this tomorrow? Can we do it after 5 because I'm booked? What do you mean you're booked? You work at home. I know, but I already have from 3 to 5 scheduled. I have to sit here and concentrate and get my listings done. You have to be that firm like that, or it'll just be running the wheel, basically. You're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to run the wheel. And I'm sure everybody is victim to that, because I will go on and all of a sudden it's like, wow, I've been looking at this damn stuff for 2 hours. What a waste. Because I didn't learn anything else. I didn't do anything else. I didn't get anything out of the 2 hours. So, hey, man, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry if I bored you today with a lot of different talk. We need more people with the drive of an entrepreneur. It's kind of, Jason, it's kind of like some people were born an entrepreneur, some people weren't. When you want to take that step, you have to become the best at what you're doing, in my estimation. And if you don't know how to be the best, it's a matter of classes and stuff like that. Learn what you don't know. Just seek out advice. Talk to people that are better at something than you are, that you want to get better in, and just ask questions. Most are helpful. Most people will say, no, do this, try this way. Like Nate and Anthony, I hear them talk every once in a while about Amazon and stuff like that. And they tell people, no, don't do it like that. Do it this way. It's much better to do it this way, because learn from people that made the mistakes already so you don't have to. That's basically what you're trying to do, is you're trying to avoid mistakes, because when you're an entrepreneur, mistakes are costly. They're expensive. Ask what you don't have someone who can be a mentor, motivate you. Right. Exactly, Dolly. Exactly. Like I always have to tell Dolly, put the light in front of you, not behind you. Because I took a couple of years of photography class. So I know that. But hey, thanks everybody for coming in. Please hit the thumbs up. Thanks if you stayed on Facebook and didn't come over to YouTube. I hope you enjoyed what we talked about. I hope I gave you a little bit of positivity and, different ways to think about today. Try it on your own. Try chunking some hours together, and then get up off the computer, put the phone down, go cook lunch, breakfast, dinner, talk to people, reach out to family that lives in another state, and connect. So I will be back on tomorrow. Don't forget, Nate and Anthony are on with Ecom and Beyond at 10 on their channel. Thanks everybody for coming. Please hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you.